Alright guys, what's going on today? It's your man Quanch and we're back with another video regarding these Last of Us 2 leaks, and I'm making this one since my other video decided to get taken down by YouTube and Muso, whatever, screw them, but I don't even care no more, screw them, because they shouldn't have took down my video, but I dare y'all to take down this video, because this video is not going to be having any extra stuff in it, you know what I'm saying, and by the fair use law, this video should not get taken down. But anyways, today guys, we're going to be talking about why the dev did it, you know what I'm saying. And in my other video, this was something that I really was wondering, so I wanted to talk about this article that I came across. Now, I don't know what this website is. It's called Sausage Roll. I don't know how credible this is. You guys can kind of just take it with a grain of salt and decide what you want to believe or whatever, but we're going to be looking at this because I'm eager to see what it says. So it says The Last of Us 2 gameplay leak came from dev that hates its divisiveness. This is by Arena Rose, and it says plenty of spoiler-ridden footage was leaked online by alleged disgruntled Naughty Dog employee. The Last of Us 2 leaked gameplay footage was supposedly released because they hate the political bias in the game. So this is definitely something interesting. At first, I kind of, when I first heard about these leaks, I kind of felt like it wasn't that big of a deal. But the more that I read about this stuff, it kind of is a big deal. And, most of the time I'm chilling. But once it gets to the point to where they're trying to, mix politics in like full force and trying to force certain things on the people to the point to where it's so bad that one of the devs are even like, nah, this is some BS, then it kind of does make you think like, okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it says earlier this year, Sony DMCA'd a post that alleged to contain the game's entire plot, and if it was a legitimate leak, it proved to be extremely divisive with some of its far left leaning plot elements. And it says news, Naughty Dog made female characters less feminine. Alright, so it says Troy Baker, voice actor for Joel in the Last of Us series, later confirmed that the game was super polarizing and it could not be thoroughly enjoyed with a closed mind. Troy Baker, he's high-key a legendary voice actor. He's played in so many games and stuff and animes and stuff. It's not even funny, but it's interesting how he said that. He said, I want people to go in with an open-minded to this story and allow Joel and Ellie to tell their story, not the story that people think they want to be told. If people go in open-minded with this thing, I think they will have a completely different experience if they go in closed-minded. So basically him saying that is letting us know that there's going to be some agenda. There's definitely some agenda stuff in this game. People took the leak with a grain of salt since at that point it was nothing more than hearsay. However, the recent Last of Us Part 2 gameplay leak has pretty much confirmed some of the original source's claims, which now makes us to believe Last of Us 2 plot leak was in fact legitimate. Yeah, okay, then we have the kissing scene. It says dev hates Last of Us Part 2 gameplay footage leak confirms strong LGBTQ themes. An anonymous source linked to Naughty Dog Inc. reached out to us with the following message regarding Last of Us 2. Interesting. So allegedly they got a direct source. Okay, so it says, I don't doubt even for a moment that this leak came from the studio. Last of Us Part 2 is very divisive, and as you can imagine, some of the team aren't really thrilled to be working on this game. Wow. So apparently it wasn't just one person. It was like a nice little chunk or portion of the team felt the same way too. Now, that's very interesting. I can understand just like one person, but if multiple people felt the same way, then that must mean that this game is really trying to push something like agenda-wise, bro. Like, wow. Let's see, it says the source goes on to talk about how stale the work environment has been at Naughty Dog and how many people have had to bite their tongues because cancel culture is very much alive in the studio. Wow. Now that's interesting. That's interesting. And now we have another quote that says, many people would agree with me that this has been one of the worst projects they've ever had to work on. And that's not because some people disagree with the plot, even though some of the team members are Christians and don't necessarily agree with the game's message. They are also professionals and can put their personal politics aside to get the job done. What really sucks about all of this is the working environment. Okay, so I do want to talk about that for a second. Now that's pretty interesting. Now me, I do consider myself a Christian. Usually I'm the kind of person where, I don't really judge, because I mean nowadays we're in 2020, so we should expect stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Like as time goes on, everybody wants to be included in everything. Everybody wants representation. You know what I'm saying? And whether it's a video game or a movie or a TV show, whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's just something that we have to expect. Whether we agree or disagree with it or not, it's just gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So, there's been times where, like me as a Christian, I've watched certain stuff and not really cared for certain parts, but overall, it was a good movie or a good experience. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just kind of hard dealing with this stuff because at the end of the day, there's never going to be a perfect movie, a perfect game, or there's no such thing as a perfect game. So there's, or a perfect TV show. So there's always going to be stuff that we like and don't like. But another thing is with this is like, also, we kind of knew that Ellie was gay. We knew she was lesbian from the first game. So especially with that DLC expansion part that came out where she was like with the other girl, the black girl, I can't remember her name, but they were kind of like, liking on each other and stuff. So to be honest, like I personally expected this, you know what I'm saying? It's not really, it's news to me, but it's not news to me at the same time because I knew that they were going to be trying to explore that more. You know what I'm saying? That's just something that was expected, so I don't know. For the people that are kind of mad about the whole LGBTQ stuff, I mean, I feel like everybody has a right to their own feelings and opinions and stuff, but I kind of don't know what people expected because, like, I personally expected them to dive deeper into that. But as with anything, I'm not a fan of them trying to shove stuff down people's throat. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like people should have representation, but not to the point to where it's just like the whole theme of something. You know what I'm saying? Like once you turn something around and try to like force it that hard and throw an agenda in people's face, like people don't really care for that. Me personally, I don't, I'm not trying to really play a game with a whole bunch of politics into it. And I know in my previous video, a lot of people were saying that before. I mean, I thought that it wasn't that big of a deal, but if it's based off of this information, and once again, we don't know how credible this is, but at this point, I feel like it would be, considering what happened. If even, team members felt the same way, then at that point, you gotta agree that obviously there was a major agenda that they were trying to push, you know what I'm saying? And people ain't really there for all that. I think ultimately people just want a game that's gonna be fun, that people like. Nobody wants all this extra shit with it. We'll keep reading. It says, Dev hates Last of Us Part 2 and confirms plot alleging that villains are a homophobic Christian cult in gameplay footage leak. Okay, so yeah, me as a Christian, when it comes to stuff like that, that is something that of course I don't care for. Why does the game have to be about that? You know what I'm saying? The team is very much divided on the game, and even voicing your concerns on its story will upset certain individuals. It usually results in said person being called closed-minded or even phobic, yeah, of course, or some such nonsense. Some people literally have to bite their tongues of fear of losing their jobs, even careers. See, yeah, reading this, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of don't mess with the game no more. I was that person that was trying to give the game the benefit of the doubt, but after saying this and seeing that, or seeing this and learning that this is what's going on behind the scenes, I can't really support this. You know what I'm saying? Before, I was planning on still playing the game, but I didn't know that it was like in depth like this. And whether this is true or not, to me it sounds very true because obviously the dev did what he did. But to me, like, if it's to the point to where Naughty Dog is like really trying this hard, then it's like, nah, we can't really support that shit, bro. Like it says, our source who alleged that the high turnover in staff is because the reasons mentioned above. What's really sad is that nobody is allowed to talk about any of this. Many employees have left Naughty Dog because in-house politics, and they are under a strict NDA and absolutely cannot discuss the studio's production practices secrets. Oops. Naughty Dog has a turnover rate of 70%, damn, which skyrocketed around the time of Part 2. The Last of Us Part 2 went into production. Our sources' claims have been corroborated by a former Naughty Dog animator, Jonathan Cooper, who left them in early October last year. Naughty Dog dev team celebrate International Women's Day and trans rights. Jonathan Cooper alleged that Neil Druckmann would force employees to sign a very strict NDA upon leaving Naughty Dog, or he'd withhold their final paycheck. A source added it was primarily the senior team that left Naughty Dog, and to assume that it's because of long working hours is laughable. Anybody that has ever worked in game development knows this is a crock of shit. Since I can remember, development has always been like this. Get to work, chug coffee, and don't leave until you've completed the task. You've completed the task that you've been assigned for the day. It's part of the fun. It's part of the lifestyle. What's not fun is working in a toxic environment. The Last of Us Part 2 villains are allegedly homophobic Christians, so it is understandable that it'd be very difficult for a Christian to work on the game. Sony have not yet announced an official release date for Last of Us, and the game has been, if you don't mind politically divisive and seemingly very linear games, then we strongly recommend that you do your best to avoid any kind of spoilers. If you don't know what's coming, you will definitely be shocked. Especially Last of Us gameplay footage leak. Okay, I don't know why they said that I don't know why they put this part right here. I'm not sure if this article had to came out after the leaks came out. Like, it definitely came out after the leaks. So I don't know why they said that there's not a date, but the release date is out. So I think that's the end of the article, man. So that's actually pretty crazy. Yeah, I was thinking about supporting the game, but if this is true, then it's going to be hard for me to support it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, nobody wants to play a game with all these politics in it. And why does the story have to try to villainize Christians? You know, because not every single Christian in the world is homophobic. You have homosexual Christians. And at the end of the day, it is an agenda that they're trying to push. You know what I'm saying? And if this is really why he leaked the footage, then I can understand why people are mad. I can understand why he did it. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think in the description, in the comments. But yeah, I don't know. After reading this article, my mind has kind of changed, because I'm not trying to play a game with all this identity politics and all this extra shit in it. You know what I'm saying? I think we can all agree that we just want to play a game, because I know people were definitely mad about the whole LGBTQ stuff. I felt like it wasn't going to be that big of a deal, but obviously it is if the team is feeling a certain way about it. This kind of just makes me feel like, okay, yeah, it must really be bad, to the point to where even the team, and then not just one person, the team didn't want to work on the game. So at this point, it's just like, damn, you can't just, it's not something you can just like ignore and be like, oh, well, it's probably not going to be that bad. People are canceling the hell out the game right now. And after reading this, I can understand why, you know, because I know some people are mad about that, the agenda, and then a lot of people were just mad overall about the actual writing of the game. Like, nobody wants to play as the killer that killed Joel, because Joel was the main character, him and Ellie. It's like, you kill him and then try to force us to play as the character on top of all the agenda stuff. You know, I just feel like people definitely don't want that. And a comparison would be them killing Iron Man by a transgender woman or man, whatever, and then trying to force that and then making that transgender person like the new Iron Man and trying to force people to like it. It's like, hell no, give us Robert Downey Jr. back. Like, we don't care about that shit. But yeah, it kind of sucks. After reading this, it really like puts it into perspective how bad the game is. And I didn't think that it would be this bad before, but after reading this, I believe it. You know what I'm saying? I do, to be honest with you, because I read somewhere, or I don't know, I think it was a video I watched. Somebody said that he did it because he didn't get paid. And if that's the case, it would make sense. Like, if, like, down here somewhere where it said, if they didn't, I can't remember where it was, but it said somewhere like if they didn't, hold their tongue or whatever, then Neil Druckmann would withhold their last paycheck. Here it is right here. So it makes it's all kind of coming together, because I did hear that. I heard that he did it because he didn't get paid. And if this right here is true, Jonathan Cooper alleged that Neil Druckmann would force employees to sign a very strict NDA upon leaving Naughty Dog, or he withhold their final paycheck. So if that's true, which it does make sense, then obviously he didn't like, whoever leaked it didn't like what was going on with the direction of the game, left, and then he did that shit and didn't give him his paycheck. So at that point, the person who leaked the game was just like, okay, well, fuck this and fuck y'all. So he just went on ahead and leaked all the shit. But anyways, yeah, you guys let me know what y'all think in the comments about this. This whole situation is just really crazy. 2020, this whole year is crazy, man. You know, we got the coronavirus, Kim Jong-un might be dead, this going on, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on with 2020, man? But anyways, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.